Time? What time is it?
01.
There we go. Let's do it. We have a special day here. We're meeting in person. And I hereby call to order this meeting of Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is February 19th, 2025, and time is 10:01 a.m. With those commissioners in attendance, please identify themselves and state as to whether they're here in person or via telephone or via Google Meets.
This is Joe Pennington. I'm in person.
This is Eric Feinstein. I'm in person.
And I am Scott Fletcher. I am as well in person, which is a new and interesting thing. This is great. I'm glad we're doing this. Yes.
Brian Crenshaw here.
B1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AACR 19-2-C604 for persons age 38. The new license application submitted by Mr. Adizan Shailovek for a 2025 professional boxer's license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to this application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I had the pleasure of reviewing Mr. Atazov on February 12th, 2025. We had a sparring evaluation. I observed him for 6 rounds. From my observation, Mr. Atazov is very well versed in boxing. He did everything that I would expect a professional boxer to do. And in addition to that, he is also a world Muay Thai champion. The IBF has sanctioned that bout, and I believe he won that on August 29th. And as far as his training regimen goes, pretty typical for what we'd see for a professional boxer. He runs 1 to 2 miles and sprints upwards of 7 days a week. He does strength and conditioning 45 minutes to an hour and a half, 3 times a week, and sparring 5 to 6 rounds 3 times a week. He is here in person today and can answer any questions of the commission, but I do recommend his approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Commissioners, thoughts, questions?
Mr. Chairman, I've looked at the record as well. I would ask Mr. Shailovek, what is his interest in changing from Muay Thai to boxing?
Mike.
And yeah, I would suggest using the microphone here in the front.
Excuse me. If I have to text it to him or something, or they ask, Muta, you?
Yes,
Why boxing? Why you do boxing?
I like boxing and Muay Thai boxing. 22 years, Thailand. I tournament champion Muay Thai. Very good. 2 round knockout. My opponent Thailand. He's very strong.
Why do you want to do boxing? Why?
Boxing.
Yeah, why? Why you like boxing? A lot of years Muay Thai, why boxing? That's the question.
Boxing. I like professional boxing. Starting professional boxing.
He's like the president over there in his country
Kyrgyzstan.
of the AIBA of the professional fighters. So he puts everything together. He gets the kids coming up from the amateurs and makes them pros. So he's like the president, the one that runs the organization. So mostly I think that's what he's coming to do. He wants to box to show his country that he boxed too and all the kids that he has there, and to be like a role model for the kids, you know.
Yes.
My only concern is at age 38, over age 38, switching sports can be an issue. But if he feels comfortable, Mr. Vella has observed the sparring. So if he feels comfortable and wants to try this, right?
I appreciate it. Thank you. He's gonna be fine because you start from up here. It's just a little bit different. They do elbows, they do.
Just as long as he doesn't care.
That's what I told him.
Or elbow.
Yeah, right.
That was my concern.
No,
just
he's
given
pretty controlled. He's
the language,
smart and-
the language barrier, that he is informed of the rule set and that he understands the boxing rule set in the state of Arizona. Just has that been translated for him?
Yes,
Has
and
he been
it's,
coached on that?
it's mostly like we've been sparring and breaking, come and, you know, I've trained Kanap Islam, John Kashtulam, a couple of them. That's how I started training him. So we, you know, we understand each other through the boxing and through, you know, he'll understand instructions, break, you know, no holding, stuff like that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for
Mr.
your help.
Chairman, I have no other questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Feinstein, anything else?
No further questions. from me.
Okay. Gil, thanks for your help. You're hoping to fight on this Iron Boy card, right? Scales are on Friday, and he's hoping to fight at 175, right?
175 to 180 for the former, like 178, 179.
Okay. Any trouble getting to that number?
You know, he's like there already
Okay, great. Thank you.
and eating, and so we're there already.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your help.
Thank you guys for inviting us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Chair to be open to a motion if there's one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, that we grant a new boxing license for 2025 to Mr. Asaf Shanabak. Pardon me for screwing the
That's
name up.
okay. I still do too.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you coming down.
I appreciate you guys inviting us.
Let's press on. B2 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, A, B, and E, and 5-229, a new license application submitted by Mr. Joel Estevez on behalf of Premier Muay Thai LLC for a 2025 promoters license. Mr. Vella, you speak to this application, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So Mr. Estevez submitted a financial application on January 14th, 2025 to be licensed as a promoter. And it was found that he is financially stable, the organization is financially stable, and there was nothing noted that would raise to a level of concern. In speaking with Mr. Estevez, he hopes to bring more professional Muay Thai to our state. We've seen that growing in the recent years. And he's also works closely with those who put on the amateur USMTO tournament. And they'll actually be doing this in conjunction with that, as we did last year with under Yukon Muay Thai. And so I'm very confident that they'll do a good job, and I do recommend their approval. I do also recommend, though, that as this is a new application, that the commission consider requiring certified funds and cash for payments to fighters and other payments to the commission.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Commissioners, what are your thoughts about this app?
I'm just happy to see more Muay Thai promoters coming in. I think it's a great sport. I think Arizona would be a great state for having greater promotions on that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Feinstein.
Also very supportive of having more promotions, particularly, I would love to see more Muay Thai. I am, I think, very receptive to Mr. Vella's suggestion that funds for payment of fighters be at least predetermined or certified in some way, so that there's no risk in these new promotions of fighters being unpaid for their work. But I think I'm very, very excited to have more of these Muay Thai events.
As am I. Thank you. It sounds like we're all in the same spot. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, sections A, B, and E, 5-229, I move that we approve the new license application submitted by Mr. Joel Estevez on behalf of Premier Muay Thai LLC for a 2025 promoter's license.
Mr. Chairman, should we include certified funds, cash and certified funds for all?
Please, Mr. Commissioner Feinstein, will you throw an addendum on there?
Yes, and I would like to addend that motion to say that contingent on having certified funds for the promotion of the event and remuneration of the fighters.
Very good. Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Item B3 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228 A, B, and E, and 5-229, a new license application submitted by Mr. Todd Whitmoyer on behalf of Integrity Entertainment Group LLC on doing business as Apex Fight League for a 2025 promoter's license. Mr. Bella, let's talk about this one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Whitmore had submitted a application on behalf of that Integrity Entertainment Group LLC on January 23rd, 2025 to be licensed as a new promoter. And it was found by the financial investigator that Mr. Whitmore and the organization are financially stable. There was nothing that rose to a level of concern otherwise. I have worked with Mr. Whitmore on previous occasions when he was a matchmaker for Rage in the Cage. And Mr. Whitmore always made every effort to comply with all requests of the commission and the rules and so on, and also made every attempt to meet deadlines and ensure that everything went smoothly for events. And so I am confident based on that, and also the success that he's had as a promoter with amateur kickboxing and Muay Thai, I believe. And I think that he'll do very well. So I do recommend his approval as well.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bella. One question, is this is a promoter's license. Is he an MMA promoter? Is he a boxing promoter? Is he?
So at present, I'm sorry, he intends to promote MMA, amateur MMA to start. And he currently is promoting amateur Muay Thai kickboxing events, the USMTA and previously the ISKA. For the past few years, he's been doing that. So.
And we have a good solid relationship with him over that period of time.
Yes, we have.
Thank you. Commissioners, what are your thoughts about this?
Mr. Chairman, I have no questions.
How about you, Commissioner Feinstein? It's nice to see you guys, by the way. It's kind of weird, but it's a pleasure. I feel like if we're all together, a bell should be ringing.
No questions for me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. The chair would be open to a motion if one exists.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228 A, B, E, and 5-229, that we grant a new 2025 promoter's license to Mr. Todd Whitmoyer on behalf of Integrity Entertainment Group doing business as Apex Fight League, with the proviso that all event funds be either in cash or certified funds.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Item B4 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, the new application submitted by Mr. Brian Crenshaw on behalf of the World Kickboxing Association, the WKA, for a 2025 amateur sanctioning organization registration. Mr. Vella, you speak to Mr. Crenshaw's application, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Crenshaw submitted an application on January 2nd, 2025 to register as an amateur sanctioning organization on behalf of the World Kickboxing Association. And it was found that he is financially stable, as is the organization, and there was nothing that rose to a level of concern. I had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Crenshaw and also reviewing the rules of the WKA and many other materials in the application. And I am impressed by how thorough his organization is. Obviously, this is not something that's new to them. They've been doing it for a very long time. And he hopes to, of course, regulate amateur sanctions and other amateur Muay Thai and kickboxing in the state. And I think they do a very good job. And I'm impressed again with the organization, the timeliness of everything, and the thoroughness of all of the application materials, as well as Mr. Crenshaw's knowledge of our statutes and rules.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. One question. You mentioned that he's anxious to oversee both Muay Thai and kickboxing.
That is correct.
Okay, and in this case, he's looking to get an amateur sanctioning organization put together for kickboxing solely. Is that correct?
It is correct.
Okay, Just want to clarify. Commissioners?
I'm a little confused. Is it only kickboxing that he's going to be doing as an amateur sanction?
The the application is for both, kickboxing and Muay Thai.
And this is just a
And
title.
at present, correct. At present, we do have the USMTA, doing Muay Thai. The commission may allow for more than one, which we had done previously with the ISKA. And so it would be my suggestion, that both are allowed. And it has been with the ISKA, what it did was it holds the sanctioning organizations accountable, from what I've seen, because obviously, the promoters are able to, work with both. And as we've seen previously with the Sanda situation that we had, when one entity does it, it could become problematic. So we would have to, if again, the application was put in for both, if we were to allow, for both, we would have to give a waiver essentially for them to do Muay Thai as well.
Mr. Vella, Mr. Crenshaw is on the call and he had his hand raised.
Oh, okay. Would you like to hear from
Mr. Crenshaw, welcome. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, if you would.
You are muted, Mr. Crenshaw.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I raised my hand because I wanted to clarify that our application was for both Muay Thai and for kickboxing. We've been regulating in the States since 1999. We regulate in multiple states, some amateur, some professional, some both. We have 3 or 4 promoters in Arizona that reached out to us asking us if we could, get approved so that we could do events in that state. And we said we would be happy to. We put together all the information. We do regular officials training. We keep our officials, up to date. We do a national tournament, a Pan American tournament, a world championships, and people that are participating in our events qualify for those events, and they get the opportunity to also move on and do international competition. We are just, happy to be involved in the sport and want to grow it as much as possible on a, fair and safe basis.
Well, great. We appreciate you joining us, and we're excited about this possibility. Commissioners, what are your thoughts, questions for Mr. Crenshaw?
Mr. Chairman, based on Executive Director Vella's comments, I don't have any questions for Mr. Crenshaw.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Feinstein.
Yeah, I would also agree. I was thinking exactly the same direction as Mr. Vella as it related to the situation that we had with the Chinese boxing situation, where having one sanctioning organization that could sort of bottleneck or limit options for promoters to put on events was, I think, something that negatively impacted the community. And I think it's reasonable to offer multiple sanctioning organizations, assuming they meet our criteria in terms of rules, safety, and comply with all the directives of the commission. And so I would be, I think, in this venue, supportive of kickboxing and Muay Thai if that's something that's on the table.
Thank you. Mr. Vella.
So, Mr. Chairman, I do believe that, it's been brought to my attention that perhaps the agenda was not clear in mentioning Muay Thai, and as we did fumble back and forth, I do want to make a suggestion that perhaps we consider kickboxing today as how it appears on the agenda, and continue the Muay Thai consideration for another meeting. That way there we give the public time to see that and to consider it as well.
Sure. Fair enough. Let's do that. We
So
will.
that doesn't preclude Muay Thai at a later date.
Correct. So
Okay.
today it would be the consideration of kickboxing and then Muay Thai.
as just a point of clarification, the statutes allow us to have more than one Muay Thai sanctioning body at the time.
If legal,
We'll have to look at that.
yeah, we could look at
Okay.
it. We could
It's
perhaps go.
been a
into
bit
separate-
since I stared at
I'll have
that.
to
That something in the back of my head seems to make me think one at a time for some reason.
Well, I
Right.
think, Mr. Chairman, if I might, at one point, that was the interpretation of the commission. And then later, we have a legal opinion that said we can have more than one sanctioning, amateur sanctioning body.
Well, we got a month to sort that out, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And you've got a hand raised.
Yeah, I have a question. So the application was sent in for both. We were under the impression that previously the ISKA was approved to do both, and that there could be a waiver issued. Wondering in the previous case with the promoter's license, you issued a waiver for a provision added to the promoter's license. Is it not possible in this meeting to issue a waiver or something that includes Muay Thai, since the only thing seems to be missing is the typo on the agenda?
It's a good question, Mr. Crenshaw. The typo on the agenda kind of carries the day, unfortunately. The public has a right to know that we're talking about Muay Thai today, and they don't. I think you're in a good spot. I think a month from today, you'll be happy with how it turns out. But I think it's a month from today. I think you're looking at a kickboxing application today, and we will soldier on at the next meeting.
Will I need to resubmit anything?
No, not one bit. We'll make sure the next step, the next agenda is properly worded, and we'll hopefully get you taken care of then.
Okay.
Talking, if you don't mind. Other thoughts, questions, commissioners?
Just that, I know that we, on occasion, have, special meetings, and maybe if there was a special meeting between now and the next meeting, if that could be added, I'd be supportive of that, just because it's something we've already considered and the application's already in.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And at Mr. Crenshaw's request, if that be the case, we can look for a date that works for the commission as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah, my apologies, Mr. Crenshaw.
It's okay. I understand. I just, was just trying to get things wrapped up so we could, proceed forward. But I think the first scheduled events that we would like to get started are kickboxing. So I don't think it's a problem. Just trying to work efficiently.
Okay. Yeah, and if it is, we'll throw together a special meeting and get you taken care of too. So, no, there. It's just government, Mr. Crenshaw. Cross every T. So, I appreciate you understanding that.
I would let you guys know that,
There be open in a motion.
sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-22A, 5-227B, and AACR 19-2-C609, I move that we approve the new application submitted by Mr. Brian Crenshaw on behalf of the World Kickboxing Association for a 2025 Amateur Sanctioning Organization registration for kickboxing.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Crenshaw. We will chat again in the next few weeks.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. C is our information reports. C1 are event reports. The following events were conditionally approved by the executive director from January 16th to February 14th of 2025. And 25 promoter's license. The first was a request from Integrity Entertainment Group LLC for approval of an MMA event to be held at Bull Shooters in Phoenix, Arizona on Saturday, March 8th, 2025. The second was a request from Premier Muay Thai LLC for approval of a Muay Thai event to be held at the Arizona Athletic Grounds in Mesa, Arizona on Saturday, March 29th, 2025. C2, our event reports are continued. Due to a potential conflict of interest, the following event was conditionally approved by and will be administered by Assistant Director Juan Carlos Estrada. That event was a request from Del Sol Boxing Promotions LLC for approval of a boxing event to be held at the American Royal Palace in Phoenix, Arizona on Saturday, March 29th, 2025. C3 regards our regional ABC
Mr.
officials
Chairman, if I
training.
may, I have a
Yes.
statement, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
on C2.
Yeah.
So as it relates to that event, I'm related to a boxer who may be competing on the Del Sol boxing card on March 29th, 2025. Therefore, a potential conflict of interest exists if I were to perform my duties as the executive director of the Division of Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts, specifically relating to the March 29th, 2025 Del Sol boxing card. Therefore, the director of the Arizona Department of Gaming has appointed Assistant Director Juan Carlos Estrada as the interim executive director to perform the duties prescribed by Title V, Article 2, specifically relating to the March 29th, 2025 Del Sol boxing card. Accordingly, the duties as the executive director of the Division of the Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts will be carried out by Assistant Director Juan Carlos Estrada, specifically regarding the March 29th, 2025 Del Sol boxing card. Should the commission, licensees, or any members of the public have questions, concerns, or concerns regarding this matter, please contact Yadani and Felix at 602-364-1721 or via infobox@azgaming.gov. I retain all duties of the executive director as to all matters pending before the division and the commission, other than the March 29th, 2025 Del Sol boxing card. Thank you.
Thank you. Item C3, Regional ABC Officials Training Recap. The division hosted an ABC Officials Training for boxing and MMA judges and referees on February 8th and 9th, 2025. The training was a huge success, and we're grateful to those who attended. Mr. Vella.
Mr. Chairman, we had over 50 attendees each day, and those in attendance represented 16 different states. We gained 3 new shadow inspectors through the training, and one of the ABC instructors even commented that our training was the smoothest and most well-planned training he'd ever been part of. So we were grateful for that, and it was really great to see the number of attendees that we had, especially those from all different phases in their journey, so to speak. We have very experienced officials, some of whom local and otherwise, that attended, although they've already attended several other trainings this year. But it's great to see officials looking for continuously improving themselves for the betterment of our sport, and also to see new faces as well for those that are looking to get involved as officials. Some former fighters, former coaches, etc., getting involved and learning the rules, which I think is great. So overall, we look forward to doing it again. And I'd like to thank Irania, Norma, Juan, Shannon, everybody for all of their help in planning it and putting everything together.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Vella. Thank you all for taking part in that. Except for, what's this training out-of-state people about? Why are we doing this? Kidding. Commissioners, your thoughts?
Oh, I just think it's wonderful that out-of-state people are coming to go through the training here, and that our executive director has put on some wonderful training events and is really building the expertise and professionalism of all of our sanctioned officials. Licensed officials, I should say.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Feinstein?
And I would just say that this is sort of a variation on a theme, which is that when national or even international organizations come to the state to work with our commission, that's what people say, that we are among the most professional, most organized group that they've worked with. And I think that's what's led to the success that this commission has experienced in terms of attracting, world-class events to Arizona. And so it's just another feather in the cap of Mr. Vella, the rest of the commission that puts in all this hard work to make this a place that people really want to come to. I want to come to your training or putting on events.
Agreed. Thank you. Thank you again. It's critically important. Really appreciate the time and effort.
Thank you all.
C4, we're going to table that for like a year, right? Let's see, what's C4? C4, Commissioner Pennington, farewell and commendation. Commissioner Joe Pennington will be departing from the commission. We're thankful for his dedicated decades of service to combat sports in Arizona. Mr. Vella, will you kick this off?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm very thankful for Commissioner Pennington for his time service, not only in the time that I've been here, but also for 2.5 decades prior. And so thank you, sir, very much for all that you've done. I know you've worked with several executive directors, and you've always been supportive of the vision that I've set forth for the commission. And you've always been dedicated to what we do in our industry. So again, thank you. And you will be missed, but look forward to what's to come as well. So with that, I think we had some others that wanted to speak as well. If that's okay, Mr. Chairman. I know Mr.
Absolutely.
Estrada would like to speak.
Hi, it's Francisco from Top Rank. How are you guys?
Doing great. Good to hear your voice, Francisco. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thanks. Just wanted to call in and thank Commissioner Pennington, kind of echo Danny's words, thank him for his time, both to the commission and while I was serving with the commission as well. Now he gets to enjoy more ski trips, so that's great. So congratulations. Thank you again for all the support and enjoy your time.
Thank you, Francisco.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'd like to say a couple of words. I know I've known Mr. Pennington for quite a bit of time now. Again, I admire his dedication and his commitment to the commission through all these years, all his support that he did, with us and working with the new rules that have been implemented, all the reviews, all the calls that we had in the past. He was a great role model for me to follow. Again, thank you, Mr. Pennington. You will be missed, you and your wife, at the events. Hope you enjoy that retirement.
Thank you, Mark.
Dennis, you can go ahead. Dennis, we can't hear you, sir. You might have to adjust your mic settings. In the meantime, Mr. Zucker, if you'd like to go.
Well, thank you. From one commissioner to another, Joe, congratulations on your retirement. It was actually your insight that got me licensed a couple decades ago in the boxing world, and then also showed me the way to become a commissioner. And here I am with the Horse Racing Commission now. Thank you, sir. Probably not for a couple decades like yourself, but your service is much appreciated and honored. And we thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much, Jay.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yes, to the only other commission member in Tucson, Arizona. Congratulations, Joe, and enjoy your retirement. And as Francisco mentioned, you're skiing. It's been a pleasure during my time on the commission to associate with you and Mickey at the fights, and well wishes in the future ahead.
Thank you, Tony. And by the way, I've got a couple of electrical jobs for you.
We'll take care of it for you, Joe. You know that. Congratulations.
Dennis, if your mic is working, you can go ahead. That's all who has their hands raised.
Okay, thank you. Dennis, keep trying to get that thing unmuted, will you please? Because he's the sort that's going to make us cry. I'd like to thank Nikki for driving here for 15, 20 years now. It's crazy. Our events are a long ways from home, and you guys find yourselves at 11:30 at night on Saturday night trying to get home or maybe get a room. It's a labor of love. So I want to thank you for putting up with him too. And those long car rides home too.
48 years and counting.
That is commendable.
Shows how tough she is.
I did write a little note to Joe. I'd like to read if I can. It is with a bit of sadness that we received the news that Commissioner Pennington will be stepping down today. Joe has been a hugely important piece of this commission for more than 2 decades, and he'll be greatly missed. During his tenure, he worked on legislation and initiatives designed to enhance fighter safety and make the commission better able to serve the fighters, promoters, trainers, and fans that make up the Arizona combat sports community. Combat sports are alive and well in Arizona, and Commissioner Pennington has had much to do with that. You know, when you volunteer your time for a position like this for more than 20 years, it can only be for very specific reasons. Because you love these sports, because you want these sports to thrive, because you want them conducted in a fair and safe manner, because you want the youth of Arizona to have a chance to train and participate in these sports. That, in my opinion, is who Joe Pennington is. He's been a tremendous role model for myself and others, and we can't thank him enough for his efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Can we get Dennis on there? Dennis, you fix your phone yet?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. You have the floor. So.
Thank you. Joe, it's known each other for about 15 years now. And as mentioned before, Joe Pennington has reviewed, approved, and overseen numerous statutory and rule amendments, disciplinary hearings, and all the other matters that come before the commission, and just had exemplary service. His institutional knowledge, as demonstrated earlier in this meeting, will really be unmatched. He's been a tremendous supporter of the commission, but also has fostered accountability for all licensees and other people with the commission. I am a little bit concerned, however, by Joe stepping down, because I believe that might make me the oldest person with or affiliated with the commission. Joe, you've made a difference, and you've left the commission in better place than it was when you began. In other words, you matter, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis.
Anybody else? Yes. Commissioner Fentz?
Well, I would just like to thank you, Commissioner Pennington. In my years with the commission, you have not just served as a role model for me, but I would consider you a mentor. In my career as a surgeon, mentorship has been critical. And being the newest commissioner, you are the person that I always look to, not just for your knowledge of the sport and of the legislation and how to get things done, but an example of public service, of integrity, and certainly your long-lasting marriage is another great example for all of us. You are not just a great commissioner, but I've learned over the years a great human being, and it's been an honor to be associated with you.
Thank you, Art.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bell.
And Mr. Chairman, I do have one more thing that I'd like to share with everybody. Governor Katie Hobbs provided a commendation for Commissioner Pennington, and I'd like to read it. Whereas Mr. Pennington was first appointed to the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission in 2001 and has faithfully served under 4 governors, Jane Hull, Jan Brewer, Doug Ducey, and Katie Hobbs, continuing his dedication to the safety and regulation of the sport. And whereas throughout his tenure, Commissioner Pennington has served as chairman of the commission on multiple occasions, ensuring that safety remains the highest priority in all aspects of the sport, from regulation to athlete protection, making Arizona a model of integrity in the boxing and MMA community. And whereas Commissioner Pennington's legacy includes significant contributions to enhancing safety protocols and regulatory standards, including his active contributions to the drafting of SB 1679, a legislative omnibus that improved combat sports regulation in the state, thereby ensuring the safety of all Arizonans involved in or attending these events. Now therefore, I, Katie Hobbs, quoting that, of course, Governor of the state of Arizona, do hereby express my deepest appreciation for the dedicated service, professionalism, and leadership of Commissioner Pennington. His legacy of ensuring safety and his commitment to excellence will continue to serve the people of Arizona for years to come. And so I'd like to present it to you.
Oops. I'll break my neck.
Wait a second. Here we go.
Please stick around. We will do some pictures with everybody following the meeting.
And I do have a statement, if I might, please, if I can make it through without crying.
Take it, sir.
Okay, thanks. First of all, nobody has ever said these good things. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vellum, it has been my great honor and privilege to have served the state of Arizona as a member of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission for over 20 years. I have served under the leadership of 5 governors, 7 executive directors, and 5 chairmen. When I was first appointed to the commission, boxing was the primary combat sport, and the events were held in fairly small venues, generally called smokers. As the state grew and the interest in combat sports grew, the sport of mixed martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and tough man were added to the commission's regulatory responsibility. As the interest in combat sports increased, so did the size of the venues. Today, it is not unusual for the boxing and MMA events to be held at the Footprint Center, the Gila River Arena, with attendance of thousands, as well as a multitude of small venues. The number of local and international promoters has increased as the professionalism of the commission staff has been recognized. On several occasions, the commission has regulated events where 4 world titles and 4 different sanctioning bodies were involved. The commission's executive director and staff have been recognized for excellence by national and international bodies. The commission's licensed officials are of the highest quality and frequently used to officiate in combat sports events worldwide. I had the privilege to work on the adoption of Arizona boxing, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, and tough men rules. I've also worked for the development and passage of SB 1676, the Boxing and MMA Omnibus Bill. That made various improvements in the state statutes. However, I'm most proud of the commission's focus on combatant safety, with the exemplified by the adoption of concussion protocol and testing. I want to commend Chairman Fletcher for his many years of leadership, Commissioner Ori Feinstein for his input and commitment to combatant safety. Additionally, I want to thank Executive Director Danny Fela for his efforts to make the Arizona Commission one of, if not the best combat sports commission in the country. I especially want to thank Juan Estrada for his many years working on behalf and serving in multiple times as executive director of the commission. Last but by no means least, I want to share my sincere appreciation for her many years of courtesy as shown to my wife and me. All good things must come to an end. Recognizing this fact, I humbly submit my resignation from the Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Pardon me for getting emotional.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, this requires a vote, correct? Mr. Vella? All he's done is submit a resignation. We haven't approved it yet, correct? Thank you, Joe. Thank you for everything. Mhm. Mr. Vella, any other pomp and circumstance here?
Don't believe, do we have any other hands raised through?
Mr. Zano? Might be raised from earlier.
Yes, I was raised earlier and I have spoken, and thank you again, Joe, and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you. Thank you all. Item D is the call of the public. So if you haven't gotten your 2 cents in, this is your chance. Is there anyone who'd like to chat with us? We do have one.
Go ahead, Thiago.
Hello. I'm gonna say, but this is quite a cool meeting. But I just have a question that I've been kind of discussing with my colleagues is, and it's a very simple question. I run the U.S. Open Muay Thai. It's an amateur tournament. Working with Joel very closely to put on a co-promotion and do something big for Muay Thai. And my question is really simple. Is there a statute that requires athletes to have their medicals done in the state, in the country, in the United States?
You can put that on the agenda next time we out about it.
Yeah, Mr. Vella?
So we can put it on a future agenda
Or he can discuss it with you, and if there's a need to put it on the agenda, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So were you able to hear that essentially?
Barely.
Okay, just to clarify, so we could put it on a future agenda for that information, or you feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss it.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Because I was struggling to find a statute that said that, but maybe I missed it. Because it's holding up my tournament. If that's the case. And then, obviously Joel has a show. I think he has almost the same question because there's a lot of international athletes at this event, his pro show. So we need to know if that's something that we need to account for with international athletes that are coming out. If they have to do their blood work and physical and all that stuff in the United States. So I appreciate your time.
That's a great question, Thiago. Please, if you two could get together in a timely fashion and get that sorted, that'd be helpful. We don't want to hold up anybody. But thank you. I appreciate you chiming in.
Thank you.
Mr. Estevez?
Good morning, everybody. I just want to take a moment to thank you all at the commission for approving my promoter's license, and I appreciate the support, and I look forward to working with you guys.
As do we. Congratulations. Thank you for chiming in.
Thank you so much, and happy retirement, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. E is the call to the commission. Pursuant to ERA section 38-431.02K, commission members or the executive director may introduce a summary of an event, questions, and or make comments. Mr. Vella, anything you'd like to talk about?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we did have a great event, our first event of the year with Rough MMA this past weekend. And we do have an event this weekend with Iron Boy, and then next weekend with Rise of Prospects. We're staying busy. It took a little while, but now we're off to a start. And so we do have some other things coming up as well. Obviously, you saw today with the 2 new promoters. There are several that have also expressed interest and some new things that may be coming to Arizona that are on the horizon. So we will, as we go through the review process, they may appear on future agendas. But we're excited about it, and we look forward to working with everybody again for 2025. Irani is back there. I know she was happy with Ruff submitting everything timely, and they did a very good job. So shout out to Ruff and Jason Martinez for that. And so far, I think that our other 2 events coming up are off to a good start as well with getting items submitted. So that's all I have to say, sir.
Well, fantastic. It's going to be another great year. And you two are great at keeping an eye on these folks, and making sure we get what we need when we need it, you know? It's so much easier and, it's the only way it can be done, quite honestly. But thank you both. I appreciate your efforts. It's gonna be a fun year. Last year was a great year. This one has other interesting things. We're gonna go to some movie time events, I think.
Yeah.
How about you two? How about you, Commissioner Feinstein?
Well, one, I would just like to say that I would be supportive in a future meeting if we could have some kind of emeritus title like they do at universities for Commissioner Pennington. So if he could attend an event, he could do so with his wife. And even if it means I have to sit in the nosebleeds, I'd love to still see you all at some events going forward. My other question is just in a future meeting, if we could just get an update on the consideration of one championship and our ability potentially to consider an event for them as they get approved in more states of, you know, whether we've crossed the threshold to allow that.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Mr. Valley, can we put that on the next agenda?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we will be sure to put it on the agenda. And just so you know, Commissioner Feinstein and staff has continued to review it, you know, since the request. And so it has been a long process. Obviously, we've had many other things going on as well, but it has not gone off our radar, so to speak. So we will provide an update at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. How about you? Commissioner
I
Pennington?
blubbered enough.
Is it Mr. Pennington?
It is- At this point, it is Mr. Pennington. Actually, it's Joe.
Okay. Joe, anything you'd like to say?
I know, as I said, I blubbered enough.
Well, thank you all for being here. This was a special event, and I'm glad we did it in person. And I'm just glad I was here. I really appreciate everyone on the phone chiming in too. It's important.
Yes, thank you all.
Item F is the announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be held virtually via Google Meets on 10 a.m. on Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, and is subject to change based on a quorum. Because quorums get harder now, don't they? It's a little trickier with two of us, but we'll get that done. G is the notion of adjournment. You want to throw a motion out there?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
Nicely done. We have a motion, but we don't have a second.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 3-0. We are adjourned. Okay, good to see you. Thank you.